Welcome to the Popcorn Talk Network. For the online broadcast network that features movie discussion, news, and interviews, press 1. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
From the Popcorn Talk Network, the online broadcast network for movie talk, this is Otaku Movie Anatomy, breaking down and reviewing some of the best and worst in the animated film genre. Is its power level over 9,000, or is it just another Yamcha? Find out now on Otaku Movie Anatomy!
His character. Oh, haha! There you go. I just did it. Who's for me now?
Okay, welcome back to Otaku Movie Anatomy, guys, where we dissect anime-centric movies.
Yay.
I am your host this week, Yume Ninja, with...
Oh, Jonathan Mesa. You notice that guy? He kind of sounded like Mr. Roshi doing the talk-in.
Yes, this is our first time hearing that intro.
Yes.
So
Jonathan Mesa, you can find me at Kaiba Cat.
I am Michelle, Chubby Bunny. You can find me at I am Chubby Bunny.
Yes.
And we are here this week with our special guest, Kakashi-sensei.
Kashi. Hey.
So this week we are doing The Last, Naruto the movie. Although it should kind of be Naruto the last
movie. Just
Yeah.
So we watched it sub because that is the only way to watch Naruto.
Well, believe it. You could do a dub with Naruto. It just it's probably not.
No.
But I mean, you still could do it. You could have
There's
a good
no dub
time
of this movie
having
just
fun
yet,
with this.
so.
No, I haven't
It's out
seen
on
it.
Blu-ray, but I don't know if it's dubbed, and I will never watch it dubbed.
Where's the love? Where's
Believe
the love?
that.
Come on.
So let's break it down. Naruto has been a property for about 15 years now, and The Last was the last, but not really the last movie of the Naruto series, ending with the marriage.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, but not the last because
Yes, technically not the last, because then they came out with Boruto. Yes.
Yeah, it's sort of like the horror films where they're like, Freddy's final nightmare, and then they're like, oh, well, Freddy's back again. It's like every rapper, they seem to come back 4 or 5 times too. So
I was joking. I was like, so wait, does the studio not like money? Because if they like money, they'll just keep making more.
Yep.
Everyone loves money.
So let's get into not only the synopsis and roundup of this movie, but the history of Naruto. So Naruto actually was just supposed to be a one-shot back in '97, and it debuted in Akamaru Jump, which I'm not sure if that was Proto Shonen Jump or not. But it was so popular that Masashi Kishimoto decided to serialize it. Well, the Shonen Jump decided to serialize it in '99. And do you remember how old you were in 1999? I graduated high school.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
okay.
almost graduated high
Yeah,
school
I-
in '99.
Oh, wow. Okay, I was 01, class of 01.
So 99 is when it officially first started, and it just ended its run of the manga in 2014 of November last year. And the movie was out in December of last year. I think worldwide, Naruto has sold over 200 million copies of the manga alone, and it is super popular. And as Michelle said, Shonen Jump, they love money.
They love money.
They love those yens.
Yeah.
You know what?
So the anime, which is still running, by the way,
Yes.
Haven't caught up yet.
yeah, they have not caught up, even though the manga is done.
Yeah.
The manga was broken up into 2 parts. There was Naruto, and then there was Naruto Shippuden. I don't know why they broke it up. It was just a lot of filler, and then suddenly it was Shippuden.
Yeah. They were like, oh, okay, we're going to stop the filler and actually do the story.
Exactly.
And then we'll get back into the filler later.
So the anime started in 2002, and then, as I said, and wrapped up in 2014. The movies, there are 11 of them, including Boruto, which just released this year. And there are 6 official fighting games called Naruto Clash of the Ninja.
Yeah.
Are any of those good? Have you guys played any of those?
I
They're
have-
actually pretty good.
I
They're
have
not
played,
bad.
I own one actually. I own the 3rd one, and they're like 3D cel-shaded fighting games. So if you like fighting games, which I do, they are amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of tournaments at any con that you go to. You're gonna find Naruto tournaments.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's that
So,
popular,
yeah.
guys. There is also a unofficial MMORPG that's online. I just discovered this, by the way.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's unofficial. It's unofficial. And I looked it up and I was like, oh my god, what I've been doing with my life. I need to play this game right now.
Look, I know Pokemon Go is coming out, and I'm like that's gonna change my life. Like I may not spend time with my children after that, but like this is just taking more time away from my
so
life.
it's completely I think it's completely fan made, and it's not in English, but there are English, there's ways to just walk you through it. And I was like, I'm gonna go play this game, guys. Goodbye, my life.
Yeah, I know.
That's awesome.
There was also a popular spin-off series with Rock Lee and his ninja pals featuring Team Guy, which of course you know is Neji, Tenten, Guy, and Rock.
Springtime of youth.
Yes, the springtime of
That
youth.
was like one of the best, if not the best, other you know.
I think it's still going too.
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
It's still
Yeah,
going.
it's still
Wow.
going.
And it's awesome. And there were 11 light novels, 9 of which were written by Masashi Kishimoto himself. There was also a Naruto-themed cafe in Akihabara this year, I think coinciding with the musical, which was amazing, by the way, and ended right before the Boruto movie came out. But yeah.
Burrito,
the movie. Yeah.
Naruto-san
But
Burrito.
the fandom is gigantic, and there are just tons of internet memes and really crazy, well-done fan-made films. One of the most popular ones is Naruto fighting Guy.
I love that film.
That is
oh
amazing.
my gosh, it's that live action thing that they did. It was incredible. It was a two-parter. If you guys have never seen this, just look up on YouTube. You know, Naruto Guy.
Yeah, it's literally like Naruto live action fights Guy or whatever.
Naruto Rock Lee. Naruto Rock Lee.
And it's got like a couple million views. It's amazing
oh my
though.
Gosh,
it's so well made.
Good.
And okay, so this movie, The Last, was directed by Tsuneo Kobayashi from Studio Pierrot, who is actually well known for his shoujo manga series. I don't think he's ever really done shonen, so it makes sense as it was a love story.
It's a love story
Yes.
for show.
Full show.
The box office for this was 2 billion yen, which is approximately $18.3 million. And it was the fastest and highest grossing film for a Naruto movie. And I think it's still higher than Boruto.
Give burrito time.
Well, I think,
Everyone likes
you know,
burritos.
It came out. So it came out after the manga ended, and after the manga ended, everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, my whole youth for 15 fucking years."
That was me.
We've grown up with him, so to know that movie was about him in his kind of adulthood, and then getting with Hinata, and then, I mean, we're gonna get into this in a minute, but it turning into I'm an adult, I'm making adult decisions, and then I'm gonna have some kids at the end. It was so satisfying.
It was so satisfying.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it was like 15 years for the manga. So
Yeah. You know, actually, when Shippuden started, a friend of mine and I made a bet, and she said that Sakura would end up with Naruto. And I know, and this is why I was like, no, Naruto's gonna end up.
very early
I know.
on.
I was like, Naruto's gonna end up with Hinata. I was like, how is this even a question?
Yes.
So we made this huge bet, and so finally, when the series ended, oh my gosh, did I get to just like, and then this movie just sealed the deal.
I think before the manga ended, because a lot of me and my fellow Naruto fans were like, well, it's going to be Naruhina. And there's the Sakura crowd. And I was like, no, if he ends up with Sakura, we burn the town.
All gone.
Everything is burned to the crisp. So let's get into the movie. So this movie, of course, takes place 2 years after the Great Shinobi War, which is pretty much the end of the manga. Naruto and Hinata are about 18-ish at this point, so they're kind of young adults. The subtitle of this film, which is on the poster, is The Last Story is a Love Story About First Love.
The last story is a love story.
Yeah,
about
in
first
English,
love.
right?
It's in Japanese.
Oh, okay.
But
I
yeah.
wonder if it's less redundant.
Yeah, because I don't know what it says, but I knew the kanji, so I was like, yeah, that's what it says.
You're like, just so you know, I know that says The Last in English, but we're going to also write down what it means on the bottom, and it's also a movie, by the way. It's the last one. It's the last one.
Just the last one.
About love, and it's a movie, and it's the last.
Love.
And it's about first love.
Yeah.
But actually, this movie, it kind of has two storylines that kind of crazily intertwine. So
crazily.
one of these storylines
They
is
forced them.
Hinata is still trying to confess to Naruto. I don't know why, because she does already confess to him in the series. And then the second one is apparently the moon is now descending towards the earth, and as they see this in the beginning of the film, Hokage Kakashi is like, well, that's obviously getting destroyed and we gotta stop it. So then the main bad guy, Toneri, shows up and is like, well, you gotta marry me. And then a whole chase ensues, and her little sister gets kidnapped, and now it's this intertwine between, if you don't know anything about the Naruto-verse, basically, there's a lot of names, and it's like the Sixth Sage and his twin brother are part of this clan who own the moon, and this guy Toneri, who's a bad guy, is going to destroy the moon because they're using their chakra and
Destroy the Earth.
It's a Dark Moon Kingdom.
Yeah,
Where's Sailor Moon? It's become Sailor Moon.
Yeah,
So-
Moon hates Earth because Earth dumb.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's Sailor Moon.
That's what it is.
So
Okay.
Toneri's motivations is that he and his clan believe that shinobi are using their chakra as weapons, and this is a sin, which he must cleanse by descending the moon and destroying the earth. But in order to do this, he needs Byakugan, so he steals Hanabi, Hinata's younger sister's, eyes, and he also needs to marry Hinata because her clan is part of the original Hamura Otsutsuki clan and can also use her eyes to use this great weapon.
doesn't make
All
Which
lies.
yeah.
The truth is, it's story structure because we need conflict between Naruto
Yes.
and
Yeah.
Hinata so that like they can get together and make it a big redemption thing. Thank you.
Yes,
Stephen.
they could have told the whole. They actually
Thank
could have
you.
just told the actual love story of
Yeah.
Naruto and Hinata without the fighting and all that stuff. But then it wouldn't be a Naruto movie without crazy ninja dolls and
Yes.
I feel like
big
they
battles.
probably
and-
could have kept it on Earth and it would have
Oh
worked
yeah,
out better.
yeah. But the movie would have been like 10 minutes long.
You know, yeah. And then, it's got like its overpowered weapon, like the Tensei gun, which is controlled by the eye weapons. And Naruto is a series that every clan that's a powerful clan has eye powers.
Yeah.
So you have the Sharingan and the Rinnegan and the Byakugan. So there was that. And then, as you know, Naruto must always face some great obstacle, get depressed, and then overcome it, which has a lot to do with his realization that he loves Hinata and then must get together with her to defeat the main bad guy. So that's the movie.
That's the movie. Convoluted? Does it sound convoluted? Well, it is. It's very convoluted. The plot is just kind of all over the place on this one. The love story is so awesome and so good, and it's so satisfying for any Naruto fans out there. Any fans out there?
I had to correct his pronunciation.
I
Naruto
know. I'm going to do it the whole
today.
show. I'm just going to do it wrong, right sometimes, wrong sometimes.
You're
But
saying
anyways,
Naruto? Get out of my face.
Naruto. But anyways, for anyone who loves the series, like this is going to be such like a redemption moment for you because you get the love story, and that's what makes it so good. And then they try to use a plot that destroys the whole freaking film. Terrible.
It's very common as a Naruto fan, it's very common in all the Naruto movies. You have this kind of character. I mean, the strongest part about the Naruto series is the characters and their relationships. But for every movie, there is this disposable bad guy, kind of like Marvel movies. There's a disposable bad guy who is like more powerful than the last bad guy, and he kind of overshadows the entire like relationships, and then at the end they kind of just force it.
Yeah. And then it's sort of like the end of a 30-minute sitcom episode, or like where it's like, okay, well, everything's back to square one again. Everything's okay. Hey.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so that is so now movie breakdown.
It's kind of the movie breakdown.
Right, movie breakdown.
Believe it.
No, don't believe that.
I mean, they didn't have to put that in there in the dub, but they just fucking went for it, didn't they?
It's because they wanted to have something when he says "tatebayo," and
Catchphrase.
it's
Yeah,
just
exactly.
like
They had to fit it in.
believe it.
To believe it.
no.
You know, there was in the movie, there was one point, Sakura says, believe it. To Hinata. She does. Yeah, she does. Exactly. She says,
It
believe
sounds
it.
exactly
And
like that.
I was watching it and I was just like, and I saw it come up on the screen and sub. I was like, oh, she said it. She said, believe it.
Even though Sakura has her own catchphrase,
What's her Sakura's catchphrase?
Shanaro.
No, Shanaro, and
Yeah.
then
Oh, yeah, she does say that. Yeah,
what is
yeah,
it when?
yeah,
And then
yeah.
in the manga, when her daughter said, her Sarada says something too.
It's something similar.
It's like
kind of
something
like
Naro.
yeah, because Boruto has one. Instead of "tatebayo," he says "tatepasa."
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, do not say that.
Let's break this thing now. What do we got?
All right, Jonathan.
All right, we're going to talk about the Naruto universe. Now, let's see. This movie is connected, just about to everything in the universe. I mean, we're going to get to see the expansion of these characters, everyone growing up. Naruto is now, like, a little more mature. And not just mature in just from, just from being older, but from everything that happened to him. He sort of carries himself a cooler air. He's much more popular, and really, like, everywhere he
He's
goes,
so
he's got-
popular.
women
Super
are
popular.
swooning for him, and apparently, like, everyone makes scarves, and scarves is the way you show love in the Naruto universe.
In life.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I know. I was like, if you buy someone a scarf, or you have to make it. If you make
You
someone
have
a
to make
scarf,
it.
'Cause
that
it's
means
full
you're
of your
destined for
love.
life. I didn't
Full of your
know.
fucking love.
What about like a nice pair of underwear? I mean, I don't know, something like that would be nice. Just anyway, so moving on. So we get to see, all the characters' abilities as they come together for this grand mission. We have Shikamaru, who's actually my favorite character. You guys didn't know that.
I did know that. You mentioned it last week.
Yeah, he's my favorite character. Of course, Naruto, Hinata, Sakura, and Sai.
Yeah.
And and may I say, if we're going to talk about the universe, Sai has really become this wonderful comic relief character.
He's funny as hell.
He's so funny because he's so blunt and so direct with everything he says. He becomes this wonderful comic relief character in the film. And so that's sort of like the dynamic that's happened with him, which is cool. Shikamaru in this movie, I felt like in order to create more conflict, they made him not as smart as he would have been. He made some mistakes, like as a team leader in this, that he would never have made. And the lessons that he learned in that whole Sasuke saga, when they're chasing him down, he let one guy go. He would leave people behind in this movie, and it was really weird, really weird. So they didn't do a good job.
Bye,
of
Hinata. You just stay in the back of that cave. We're not going to worry about you for at least 20 minutes, maybe 30.
We're gonna go swimming in bubbles.
They were gone for a while.
They were, yeah.
Yeah, so that's something that I didn't like that they did with his character in this movie. So, but they still tried to really show his intelligence and show how clever and crafty he is as a leader. You get to see sort of a small glimpse of a lot of characters. Kakashi is he's the Hokage.
Yep.
And we get to touch upon all the other Hokage or the other Kages as well, which is pretty cool. There, hey Kakashi. So you get to really get like a little taste of everyone else in the universe, which is nice. But really, you're going to focus. This movie's main focus is Hinata and Naruto.
Yeah.
And that is really the most important thing that I think we can get to. We get to see them connect and fight together, which is really nice.
Yeah.
And in the end, like the way they win is by uniting as a couple, and that was really nice.
Yeah.
That was super satisfying.
He's like, give me your
Yeah.
chakra, girl. And she's like, okay.
Because of course, from a conflict position, they're like his chakra was completely absorbed, so that had to happen. But I was okay with it because the payoff was nice.
Yeah.
And really, I mean that's it. I mean they really focused on Naruto and Hinata.
Yeah,
This
it
is
was
what it's all
definitely
about.
a Naruto Hinata movie.
Yeah, and she is beautiful.
Yeah. I
thought
like the design for her.
design is stunning. I
Yeah.
thought she just looked gorgeous. And Naruto with this shorter hair looked really cool, and I really liked
I
it.
didn't like it.
No.
It took
Not
me a long
even
time to get used to
cool.
it. When the movie first started, I was like, well, I guess we're gonna have to deal with this unless there's some sort of time gap in between the beginning and the end of the movie.
It's
I
kind of weird because
loved
I'm
it.
like he
Don't they
starts out
explain
like
it now?
bushy hair. They don't really talk about it. He starts out really bushy hair as a child, and then it gets like kind of cooler as he's like a 16-year-old in like Shippuden, and then like I was like, why'd you cut it off? Just make it longer. Just make it
dug it.
Chiraya's hair. Like why'd you cut it off?
I dug it. I mean, it just it fit with this sort of new cool persona. Like, and I really dug it. I really like. I don't want him. Naruto's not gonna have long flowing hair or anything like that.
I would have liked that.
Oh, what I do like also.
Hinata had long flowing hair. They can't both have long flowing hair, okay?
It's true. It's true. It would look. Yeah, I'm not.
They
not
have
gonna-
together. They
it would
have medium length hair. That was Hinata.
Yes, believe it.
No, Steven.
And the last thing I will say into the tying of the old series is keeping Naruto's stupidity
Yes.
and really tapping into how much of an idiot he can be. He's so dense. He does not realize that Hinata is in love with him until he goes into a memory bubble in the middle of the film, which is a little beating us over
It's
the
like-
head. Yeah.
It's my worst jutsu!
How many of these have you pulled? Oh
my God,
look at
Steven.
this.
Why are they all the English ones?
There's too many buttons. Settle
I love
down.
it.
That's why.
Keep them coming, buddy.
The
Keep
best
them
of the
coming.
best, undefeated ninja champs.
He's great.
Stop it! I hate it. I never watched the dub. I never want to.
Yeah, I never watched the dub.
But going back to Naruto's him being so dense, they really, I really liked how they're like the only way he's ever going to realize a girl likes him, and the difference between liking ramen and liking a girl is if we are trapped in this crazy memory bubble developed by some moon shinobi people.
Yeah.
So it totally matched how he would realize it.
Yes.
It's totally a movie vehicle. Like it's it's like a physical bubble, guys. It's not, we're not
Yep.
even, it's a physical tunnel. It's
Yeah.
a bubble in a tunnel that is moving the plot along. But I'm okay with it because
Yeah,
it's really
I'm totally
cute.
okay with it.
Yeah, and that's the big thing with the payoff in this film is that all of the problems that this plot has, the payoff is so nice because if being fans of the show, you get to see this couple come together in such a lovely way. It's really, really fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, they should have just made a romance movie. Just make a complete
should've.
romance movie. It would have totally worked.
That'll be Sakura and Sasuke's movie.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
that'll be, as we call it, Sasuke the Last.
Sasuke the Last. But you know, he's an absentee father in the new series. Forget you, Sasuke.
He
You
just
suck.
sucks, man. Sasuke sucks. He's terrible.
Agreed.
Ooh.
All the Sasuke fans are murdering us
I
in
know,
chat.
sorry. Yeah, just so you guys know, I am looking at the chat. If you guys want to ask us questions and it's relevant, I may address it.
Yeah, it's
or I'll
relevant.
totally ignore you.
Believe it.
Yeah.
Someone just saw the movie today. Hey.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, there's The Last, which came out in December and was debuted in Los Angeles as well, which is where we're filming, and I think it's distributed by 11 Arts. And then this past weekend and this week they're also showing Boruto, the next movie, but we haven't seen that yet.
Well, I have.
Oh, well, okay, someone here has seen it, but
Yeah,
the rest
I
of us
haven't seen it.
haven't, so we didn't. Yeah. Okay, so we're moving along to world building,
Yeah,
I believe.
That Shinobi world.
That's Shinobi
So just
World.
it would be a shame to talk about Naruto without talking about the amazing world that's been built up around him, not just in this movie but throughout the whole series. Something that I noticed a lot more in this movie that for some reason I didn't notice when I watched the anime series is all the technology. I think because they don't really use it too much in the series except at the very beginning when they'll have headsets and stuff.
Yeah.
But in the movie, I'm like, why? Like, they have convenience stores and like regular, like they have street lamps, electricity. You see like an air conditioning unit on the side of a building, and I'm all, did I not notice this? And I didn't. So
Yeah.
in the 2 years that passed after the Great Shinobi War, in my head I was like, oh, technology must have advanced. It didn't. It's the same.
I will say in the credits, no joke, Ino is taking a selfie.
Yes.
Yes.
She
I
has a
was
cell
like-
phone
Yeah.
because they have cell phones. They have phones.
They have cell phones?
Yeah.
They used them. Apparently, they used them earlier. They used them in Shippuden.
Yeah.
But just
When
it was
did
a
they use
really
cell
brief.
phones?
They try really hard not to make them
Yeah, like
a crutch.
in the Naruto series when they're much younger, you don't see a lot of the technology, and I know that's just because I've watched everything. But as Shippuden goes along, you do see them start like to kind of like push a little bit more of the technology in towards the end of it. Well, where it's not now, you see a lot more of it just because they're currently in the Shinobi War and there's like a lot of filler. But the movie itself, like The Last, you see a lot of it. I think just because it's kind of to show you that during this
During
time
a
of peace, they
peace.
develop a lot more.
Yeah.
They have time to make technology.
My big thing though was the technology in the Naruto world was always based off chakra. Like it was,
Yeah.
and so the thing is when you have something
Chakra cannon, anyone? Oh my
Yeah,
god, the
chakra
chakra cannon in this movie, I was like, whoa, steampunk time. I didn't realize you guys could make just cannons. They had all these dudes like hooked up and like, you know,
Science
concentrating.
ninjas, guys. Science
and like
ninjas.
rows and rows of dudes, you know, channeling their chakra into this tank that would blow up the moon pieces.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, but the thing is, so that makes sense to me because it's chakra based. It fits within the world. But a cell phone, I am
Maybe
not
it's a
okay with.
chakra-based cell phone. You don't know.
Well, I will give you that, but they have to explain that, or else it just looks like a selfie.
I believe, you know, I think they're straight technology because they have electricity, they have street
Yes.
lamps. It's
Yeah.
not charged
Yeah.
by any dude just like running on a treadmill somewhere. And we have to remember there are somewhere in this world people we haven't met or we don't talk about. There are people who are not shinobi. So
Yeah.
those people
Yeah.
need like air conditioning units and
I
whatnot.
kind of want to ask a little favor. Then everyone will have to stop disrespecting me and look up to me.
Yes, that was
Jeez, serious.
Stephen Naruto English dub.
I know, seriously.
But something great about, you know, that seeing the little bits of technology and seeing how, you know, almost modernized the Naruto world is, you feel like this could be, you know, a modern Japan or Japan like 10 years ago or 20 years ago. And, you know, but he brings that whole ninja aspect into it. It's still relatable, even though there's just ninjas flying around, superpowers. And the only kind of technology that Kishimoto did mention in some press conference one time was that he never wanted to make vehicles, like cars and motorcycles, and he never wanted to make projectile weapons, like guns, basically.
Yeah.
Even though apparently some fan was like, "Well, you put a gun in this one store scene from like episode like 300." And I'm like,
So,
okay.
and then
Yeah,
in the
okay.
original one-shot manga, Naruto is, I think he's technically not a ninja, but yeah, there's a dude with a gun in it, and like it's kind of modern looking. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think he went through and carefully like took out things that would maybe not, that wouldn't help the story at all, you know?
Yeah.
That wouldn't, force the characters to use their chakra and their abilities to like enhance the battle or whatever. Yeah. So that's nice, the world building, that the technology aspect is really great. And then obviously, Jonathan started mentioning in this movie, we get to see all the different villages for a little bit to kind of get another taste of them. Now get a taste of them and to see how they are after the Great War. Mm-hmm. We see in the TV all the TV sets linked together, right? And like on each TV, there's like little kanji for each, like it says like fire and wind, and it's really funny. Then you see their face, like as if they would need to. Oh, I don't know which guy this is. I better put his symbol below.
Jeez, where is he from again?
It's pretty good.
The sand guy. What area is he from?
And they do, I guess, to enhance the seriousness of this moon falling to the Earth problem. They involved everybody because everyone's affected. So you get to see Gara for a little bit. You get to see everyone for just a little taste, which is nice. And they all have these sweet palm clocks.
Yeah, what's up with the palm clock?
It was like the what do they call them? Like the countdown, like world destruction. Yeah, it's like
how convenient. Look, the moon is coming. We just so happen to have a clock for that. Like we could just put it on everyone's hand.
Yeah, and then as the moon pieces start falling to the earth, we see them all defending their towns. Like, okay, we'll use this to don't worry, our nation or whatever. And then you see the Sasuke cameo.
Sasuke.
But he basically just flies, like they tried, who is it? Rock Lee, was it? Tries to like blow up the crater that's the meteor that's coming.
A portion.
He only gets a little bit, and then Kakashi's like, well, he stares at it like, I guess I'm gonna die.
Kakashi, who is the Hokage, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, and then Sasuke just out of nowhere goes whoop whoop and does some magic. He doesn't. I don't even know if it was a move. He just goes. There's just an explosion.
He used a lightning attack. It was a lightning-based attack, but I'm not.
I think it's some sort of.
I didn't hear him call out.
I think it's something to do with the evolution of a Chidori.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But Kakashi has that. Kakashi taught him.
Yeah, he taught him that. Yeah.
So Kakashi does nothing. Sasuke saves the day, and he turns around and says, "What is it?" He's like,
says, "Believe it."
If Naruto, if that guy, meaning Naruto, isn't here, then I guess I have to come and help this town. And it's very and then he fucking just goes and leaves, and that's
in his fucking poncho.
And it's stupid. Sasuke poncho time is what this movie is called. Also,
yeah, you can tell we're all big fans of Sasuke
He's
over
great.
here. Okay, Sasuke's real great.
I mean, they have to have a character like that. I think just talking about the overall plot, to defect from the group and have the traitor and have him come back and forth. But he comes back and forth a lot.
Yeah. Well, because it's really important in the themes that run in the Naruto series as a whole, which we will talk about.
And then as far as the other locations that are used in this film, oh my god, there's so many great ones. A lot of them, don't make any sense. Let's just get this out there. Yeah. It's a Naruto anime. Things are gonna be wacky. But there's where to start? So they start in Konoha. That's normal. Then the meteor comes, and they're like, "Let's go investigate this." They go to investigate. They find basically a tunnel that is a path to the moon.
Yeah.
So this is the tunnel with the bubbles we were talking about.
The shortcut to the moon. But it's got bubbles.
Yeah. So
who would know? There's always a shortcut to the moon, didn't you know?
So there's a bubble cave with memories, which is the memory vehicle that is used to bring Naruto to realize that Hinata loves him, and then I think in that same way he realizes he loves her. Yeah. There's a giant crab. For no reason.
No reason.
Yeah.
There's a giant crab in this tunnel that Sakura really beautifully destroys with her giant punch.
Yeah, she explodes the crab. Explodes it.
Naruto's all, did you do that with one punch? He's like, yeah, whatever. I just do these things. Stop asking me about it.
It's one of those things that they purposely put that crab there to give enough time for Naruto and Hinata to
who got left behind.
Yeah, who got stuck in this. It's a genjutsu, by the way.
Yeah.
So they get stuck. So Sai and Shikamaru and Sakura have to fight off this crab, while the other two spend time in their memory bubble times.
How convenient.
They all got time.
Nicely done, plot.
But it was very beautiful, so I don't mind it.
Yeah, the world is very pretty.
And then Sai has a tie-in later, because then he paints and summons a giant crab. If you guys remember that. Was a crab, right?
No, they're fighting the crab. He summons...
No, later.
Oh, I don't remember that.
He summons a giant crab. Didn't you notice that? Yeah.
Full circle, bitches.
Full circle, bitches. Sai brings out the crab.
Oh dang!
They got crabs.
They got a lot of crabs.
Crabs.
So after they exit the tunnel, there's a scene where they're like on a hill and they look out, and the world looks upside down because they have gone from a cave. Let me see if I get this right. Out of this cave to a place that looks like it's outside with an ocean with a fake sun. Why, we don't know. And I guess they kind of get to that. So we know this kind of connected to the moon somehow. And then they fly around on one of Sai's, drawn birds, and they see, oh, look, I think I see a town there. Okay, let's go. Like, they just find a town. They go in this town like, oh, these sure look like ruins. They must have been, I believe the direct quote is, this must have been, there must have been a fire here centuries ago.
Yeah.
It would have been more than a couple of centuries for us. What you've inferred later is that this is where the moon peeps used to live.
Otsuki clan, yeah.
Right. But now they're all gone, since that's why it's so ruiny. So ruiny. In this, outside of that, I guess they camp around, in the forest and shit and to have their conversations. There's this really beautiful scene. It's actually, it's after Naruto realizes he loves Hinata, and he sees her, he sees her again. It's like his third time watching her knit this goddamn red scarf for like the 700th time.
By the way, just so you know,
scarf.
the scarf is so constant in this film. We're not talking a lot about it
She
now.
makes like
but
5 of them.
Yeah, this is non-stop
don't worry, we'll
scarf.
get to it, yeah,
They
it's-
should have called it Naruto the Last Scarf.
It's in the movie poster. It's like
Yeah.
Naruto
like,
and his magical love scarf that will
Oh, yeah.
save his life. But anyway, he's in the forest. He sees her, and it's really beautiful. Everything's very soft, and there's all of these little fireflies floating around.
Can I? It's straight out of Final Fantasy X. It's straight out of Final Fantasy X.
Final Fantasy did not invent fireflies. They didn't invent
It's the
fireflies.
same thing. It was like in the kissing in the pool, but they didn't kiss yet. But in Naruto, but like it's totally out of Final Fantasy. I was watching the movie and I was like, oh yeah, Final Fantasy X. I have actually my game saved at that spot because I like that cutscene.
Okay, look, you and every nerd who ever played that stupid game.
Yeah, that's about
10 was
saved.
not one of the better ones, okay? I'm just throwing it out there.
That's good.
Final Fantasy 10, no. This fucking song ruined my life. So anyway, no, Final Fantasy X did not invent that moment in
It
time.
didn't
That's just
invent it,
it's
but
used
it
in a lot of art and a lot of
Yeah.
movies. A
It's
lot.
become a trope in itself at
Yeah,
this
not
point.
man. It is.
You know what?
it's
Whenever
a
you
trope.
talk about this scene, that music's gonna play.
I will
We have to play.
fucking murder you. There's a lot of swearing in this show, guys. I'm
Keep going,
sorry.
keep
We can't
going.
bleep. It's live.
We're
We can't bleep
passionate.
it. So anyway, moving right along. So then they go. Then she gets kidnapped, and she gets to go to Moon Land. Where they're-
Seriously, yeah.
So Moon Land, or the Moon Castle, as it's what it's really called, is beautiful and really overly complicated.
Yes.
It is so in this world, so they see the ruins. If you go up and then through a magic portal or some shit, like you can go into the actual moon. Like it's not the real moon, it's like a fake, or it's like it's inside the moon and they go outside the moon. I don't know. This castle, it looks like the moon. It's gray on the the earth is gray, and then the actual castle itself is crazy spires, and it took some time. Like
Yeah.
there was an intern art student here there who's just
It was
draw
very
lines.
nice. It was nice design.
And then in this castle, this is great. So in this castle, when you look out of this expansive dining room, so Hinata and what's this guy's name again?
Tonetti.
Tonetti.
Tonetti, yeah.
It's like seriously the most forgettable bad guy. I can't remember his goddamn name. So when they have all these semi-romantic dinners in this really big dining hall, like maybe 10 dinners. There's so many dinner shots.
You know what? And what's up with him? Like it's so that cliche thing where he has like the super long table and they sit
Yeah.
on way opposite sides. I'm like, you can't talk to each other that
They
way.
can't. No,
Yeah.
they just
Like, "Pass
she's
the
using her
salt!"
ninjutsu, whatever. Her voice throwing
You're
ninjutsu.
right. Yeah. You want to talk to me? You use your jutsu, okay, young lady.
So this is all they have like 20 million dinners in there, and one time they look, she looks out the window and there's like a fucking gray castle goes woo, or a gray giant spire building goes whoop and just floats, just floating past, and it's a very calm moment for some reason in the movie, but she looks over and she's like, well, what? Okay.
And that's the music.
Steven,
that
we had
plays.
Moo passes a while
That's the
ago.
music that plays when the giant brown structure,
Yes.
or gray structure,
Yes.
floats by.
I just figured I'd do it every time you say the F word.
Oh, okay.
It's exactly.
I'll scale it back.
Get used to this song, ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen.
yeah. This is my punishment
Exactly.
now. Crap. See, like I changed it to the C word. Crap. Anyway, so they look over and she's all, "What's that giant structure?" And he's all, Hamura Temple, which gets close to this castle during the, what does he call it? The Rebirth Festival.
The Rebirth Festival, yeah.
And it's ridiculous, like this floating effing castle, and it's a good time.
But it's pretty.
It's pretty.
It's pretty.
So anyway, there's a lot of really beautiful, scenery, locations in this movie. It's a very Naruto movie. They put a lot of thought. All the movies, they usually have really great, fantasy kind of towns that look exactly like Konoha. So we all enjoy that. Yeah. And then.
I'm sorry. I just see someone on the chat. We're not talking about the Boruto movie, all right?
Yeah, we can't.
Yeah,
can't
we
spoil
can't
it
do
for you
that.
guys.
But I will tell you that Boruto did not have the what's it called? The Byakugan. He did not.
Someone's asking.
Did not, yeah.
That's Himawari.
Oh.
Yeah,
Himawari has it.
Spoilers. Well, you guys should be reading the manga. If you're a real nerd,
Yeah,
if you read
the
the manga,
you should be caught up.
He doesn't have it in the manga. Maybe later, but not now. All right.
Ugh.
But now, enough of Boruto. Let's get back to it.
So I guess as a movie that is called The Last, even though it's not the last in the Naruto universe, it is probably going to be maybe one of the last movies that focus on Naruto himself. Mm-hmm. And so to honor that, they did put a lot of work into making this a satisfying closure to Naruto's story. God, there's all the flashbacks,
Yes,
starting at the
all
very
the
beginning of the
flashbacks.
movie. There's just flashback. They quickly sum up all of Naruto. Then they start the flashback. He's in the flashback bubble, as we're calling it now, the memory bubble. And when he's in the bubble, he goes through being a child and seeing Hinata for the first time, being in school, and having all these realizations that the whole time he was feeling unsure when he was in a time of almost dying. Hinata was there to save his ass, and and to confess to him, and he remembers this. And it's funny because they show him outside of his body remembering it as well, like, oh, now that I'm an adult with experiences, now I can see that all the things she did, during the tuning exam, giving me self, this means that she loves me, and it's very sweet. And it's a good way to go to flashback to these really great moments, in the series.
He obviously should have known, because in the pain fight, she says,
I love you.
I love you, which was an amazing moment.
Yeah. She's like, I can die now. I'm fine.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, what does that even mean?
But he was only 16, so he didn't understand it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, 16-years-olds don't get that. I'm Naruto. Believe it.
And then, besides all of this wonderful flashbacking, the best closure I got was from the credits.
Yes, the credits.
Oh yeah.
Were like in and of themselves, they were so wonderful. They basically they show the end of the movie is Naruto and Hinata kiss, done, credits. And in the credits, it's like silhouettes of Naruto and Hinata getting married. Yeah. And on this beautiful like Sakura background, and then you see the silhouettes, like you can see their faces too. But you get to see everybody from the town, so you kind of get to...
You basically see everybody who's ever influenced or has been influenced by Naruto. So you see Iruka-sensei, you see...
Oh, gosh, when you see Iruka-sensei...
That credit scene, it made me cry. I was sat in the theater crying because it's just like Iruka-sensei, Kakashi, like every single person, every single life that he's touched.
Yeah.
And like, what's his name? Hanabi has a picture of Neji, who, if you don't know, spoiler alert, dies in the series. Yeah. So you're just like, oh my god.
Oh god.
Yes, he dies in the epic war there, guys. In case you haven't read that far.
Oh, I'm like starting to get like thinking about it because it's very sweet the way they do it. They show them like hugging all their friends and being all like, hey, and then you even see Sasuke.
Yeah.
But you can tell some time has passed between like their first kiss and then
the wedding. Yeah.
The wedding, because Sasuke is like with Sakura.
Yeah.
Like he's got a great vest on, which he continues to wear for probably the rest of his life.
He continues to wear it into Boruto, guys. I will let you know that little tidbit.
So you kind of get this really great like feeling of like, wow, they're all together, celebrating and being really cute. And then
this is a fun fact. Someone says Naruto and Hinata married 4 or 5 months after the movie. How do you even
I think
know
that's an estimate. I've been googling the shit out of this. I think that's an estimate.
Know that?
I don't think it's written anywhere because they don't address the wedding or anything in the manga at all. I think if there was an official statement, please link me to it. I would like to read it.
Put the link on there. Whoever you are, I can't read it over from here.
But then also, the clincher, which is what leads you right to Boruto, is that it cuts away and you think you're done crying. And then you see Naruto and Hinata sitting in their house, and it's snowing, and then their kids running around, and then you, oh, it's so cute.
And they end on a family portrait.
Mm-hmm.
They end on the wedding, like the wedding picture of Naruto and Hinata, and then the kids'
The little
pictures
baby
on the side.
pictures.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
so cute.
Oh, exactly. This is how I feel.
I didn't swear. You can't play that music. I kept it reined in, Steven.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it was really nice. I mean, it was. If only the movie had the same, just that sort of feel the entire way through, then it would have been perfect.
But it was good they ended with it because it made you feel like the whole movie was good, even though you
Yeah.
forgot about all the weird shit that happened.
That shit was satisfying, guys.
It was nice. You really hit the feels on that one. They nailed it on the head.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like the three themes throughout the Naruto universe and this movie is basically just fate, friendship, and perseverance. Because that's just who Naruto is, and that's kind of how he influences everybody. Fate in this movie is heavily pounded into you by the damn red scarf. As we all know and are familiar as weeaboos and otakus, the red thread of destiny, which ties and literally ties while they're in the bubble, like goes around Naruto and comes back to Hinata as he's kind of getting pounded this idea that he loves her. And then there's friendship. Naruto falls into a depression, and whilst he's in this kind of 3-day depression, and Sai makes fun of him for a very jovial moment, he visits Sakura, who's kind of, just weakened by healing him, and she kind of talks him through it, like, well, duh, you love her, And it's kind of that moment where he's like, well, she left me, and he's like, well, her love is not that weak. Like, you have to think about why she did that.
Baka!
Yeah. Because,
That's a really great moment. Like, Sakura and Naruto have this really, hey, we're adults, and we can talk about this stuff, you know, and I don't know, Sakura's such a great friend in this movie.
She's a really great friend. Throughout, all of Shippuden, she's a really good friend. And in that moment...
Her arc has been amazing from the very beginning. Like, she's a wonderful arc, and how powerful and who she's become has been incredible.
Yeah, and it's like even the conversation, because it kind of mirrors her own love for Sasuke. Because Sasuke, who's left the village, come back and try to kill her at some point, she still loves him. And, of course, she ends up with him. So it's kind of like Hinata and Naruto at that point. But yeah, and then there's perseverance. You see it in, Hinata, who is literally the first person that Naruto influences when they're children, because he saves her, and it kind of puts this idea of like courage and trying to change yourself to kind of catch up with him because she admires him and then loves him. She kind of just
so is this you said that? And then I was thinking about when they're holding hands, and it was like she's no longer chasing.
She's going together.
Right beside him.
It's a great moment.
And
in the film,
we
guys.
talked about last week on Attack on Titan, how Armin, that's his whole Reisen Dacha is to catch up to his friends, and it's
Yeah.
Sometimes being the weakest link, really
and
just throws you in there.
And the realization that he wasn't behind them that whole time. They saw him as an equal. It was just the feels.
Because it's like,
Kakashi.
you see both of them. Like Naruto, of course, is the main character, so you see him kind of go from like the shittiest ninja. Like if you remember, you see him now, and he's amazing at his Kagebushin no Jutsu. And in the beginning, he had like his little like crappy one, and like in the movie, he makes the little chibi, like the 2 little chibi ones right before he gets beaten up.
My worst jutsu!
Exactly.
It becomes his best.
It becomes his best.
So good that he uses it to raise his child. We'll get into that later.
Yeah. And then and then you see like Hinata, who's like this shy, insecure, like she doesn't feel like she's worthy of being the heir to the Hyuga clan, and she grows up into this person. Like you see the fight with Pain, where she is literally the only one that flies out to that fight, knowing that she's probably gonna die to defend Naruto because he's been protecting her all her life, and she definitely wants to be next to him and as strong as him.
And it's that kind of courage that she brings into this film, and that really represents like Hinata and how far she's come.
Yeah.
That shy, timid person. She actually puts her love for Naruto aside, to step up and try to fix the situation.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was powerful.
Yeah.
That was it. That was it. I know, right? Yeah.
Yeah, this movie, it gave me, like, the mega feels. Like, I knew watching it, like, I knew I was going to cry. I tried to, like, I went with, like, a couple friends, but I was just like, I'm just going to sit here and not talk to anybody because I'm totally going to cry. Because I'm the kind of person that I read Naruto every single week when it came out. Just scanlated, of course. Sorry. But, like, I would sit at my desk and cry because it was just so moving. Like, as a person, like, Naruto is this this great guy. He is not a great ninja. He's really dumb, but because he's dumb, he's able to kind of keep going, and he kind of changes the view of everybody around him who's kind of cynical and like tells him he can't do it, but they all kind of become his friends, and he enables this kind of like great shinobi like truce to fight Madara at the end, you know?
Tsunade said it best. She says he's the type of person that makes you want to put your bets on it.
Yeah,
he's the type of person you end up believing
Which
in.
is a
Believe it.
Which is a cliche, which is a trope,
Yeah.
but
But I love it.
but I feel like Naruto takes this trope of if you're not good at something, just ganbaru and just try your best, and eventually
Yes.
you'll be the best at it. Which isn't always true sometimes, guys. But in
you
anime, it's always true.
It's always true, and you
true.
love it because
Yeah.
because every time I watch Naruto, I'm just like, yeah, I can do anything, guys. I can fly.
It's a very normal like
That
experience.
was the last time we saw you, eh? She jumped off. All right.
But you want to see the underdog win.
Yeah, and that's kind of who he is. And then he does become Hokage, so
Dun, dun,
there you go.
dun.
Yeah.
All right, but
Yeah.
Next Hokage!
That's right. That's what
Yes.
you became, Naruto.
Spoilers. He only
Yeah.
talks about the whole friggin' time.
but the last is just a lot of growth, especially between Hinata and Naruto, which is the greatest thing you can hope because they are my one true pair. So
Yeah.
I was
I'm so on
super
board with
excited
that.
about it. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, there's okay, this movie has a lot of qualms. I mean, it's got a lot of issues. We're talking very highly of it because as fans, obviously we keep reiterating the fact that Hinata and Naruto getting together is what this movie's about, and that's the core of it, and it is so good. But they do give you an hour's worth of janky plot, bad villains, like a bunch of like marionettes that the villains use that have DBZ powers.
Oh my
They're, like,
gosh, that made me
shooting,
laugh so
Dragon Ball Z
much.
balls at you. They visit Sailor Moon in the Moon Kingdom. Like the plot is absolute garbage.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense.
Believe it. It's really bad. The plot is terrible, as well as losing some personality traits of some of the characters along the way to like try to keep this plot going that really doesn't work. But gosh.
It's like it's two movies. The
It's
movie
two
that you
movies.
don't like, I don't really like either, which is the whole Moon Kingdom BS.
Yeah.
The plot that we all love is the romance and the personal story between Naruto and
this
Hinata.
is something that as a Naruto fan, like you see a lot in a lot of the movies. You see it's literally the relationships you want to see because it is an ensemble cast. You want to see his relationships with all the other shinobis and kind of the way he lives his life. But I think what Kishimoto always usually does is puts this kind of disposable bad guy in there, and then they have to have these cool fights. I mean, they're cool fights, but it's usually just to put the cool fights in there.
Yeah, the first 40 minutes are going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
The first 30, 40 minutes are going to be wonderful for you. It's going to go downhill for a long time after that.
Once they go to the moon.
Once you go to the moon, yeah. What do I have written down? Like Star Wars Attack, and I have all sorts of like Sailor Moon, I've got all these things that
Oh
just
yeah, because they
make me,
fly.
like,
The bad guys also fly on birds out of the moon barrier.
Yes.
To attack everybody.
But then Sai has the drawn birds that they ride
Oh
too.
yeah.
I wrote down Naruto in space. This is getting absurd. Like that's
Oh
like,
god, that's fine. Okay, so the final fight was animated really well, but it gets so crazy that they have to make an oversized monster, so they just kind of like throw one in. So I can't the forgettable villain.
Koneri.
Yes.
He's all like "Ugh," and turns into.
He gets like all the Byakugan
All
from
the
his
eyeballs.
clan, by the way.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
the eyeballs
Wears
from his
them like a
clan,
suit.
and he becomes this eyeball beast.
That's right. That's right. But then that ends up. There are too many eyeballs, and it ends up giving him pink eye. and so it ends up like overwhelming him.
It's not accurate, but that is what happens.
Essentially, it overwhelms him and he gets pink eye. That's my way of putting it. Like, this is the way I like to put it. Yeah, so he gets pink eye, and then it gives him a bad infection, and so he ends up being defeated.
In that last battle, my biggest I mean, it's not my biggest problem with the movie, but it just really annoyed me at the end because they throughout the movie they tried to be kind of careful and say Hinata, just because she's a girl and she's the girl love interest doesn't mean she's gonna just keep she should get kidnapped. Well, no, she tries to go. Okay. So they try to like qualify everything, and at the beginning of the movie, Sakura says, "Oh, Naruto, you should walk Hinata home," and he's all like, "Why? She's really strong. No one's gonna mess with her." So they try. But then at the end of the movie, in the very it's like a 2-part boss battle fight. So the first part is with some monster he summons, and then
Yes, and where the QB comes out and
yeah,
fights him.
QB kind of like takes care of him, and then the second, it's a 3-part battle. The second battle is with forgettable villain number 2 in his human form, and then the third battle is the eyeball one.
Yeah.
So between the second and the third, Hinata gets put into a literal gold cage.
Let's just put, he just majestically like creates the cage out of thin air. The guy has god powers. He's just like, I'm gonna make a golden cage to shove Hinata in.
He's definitely OP, but I think this is a problem with a lot of the Naruto villains. That you just like, oh, Madara's the bad guy and he's got like a bajillion powers, but there's this other guy in this movie and he's got like more powers than Kaguya.
He really made no sense. He just had god powers.
I think the movie was so good about having them, let's have Hinata and Naruto do this thing together, and at the end they're like, no, let's just have Naruto take care of it, because Hinata can't help. They take her out of the battle, she just sits in the cage going, oh, no, for like, 10 minutes, and it's just it's a really disappointing part. I was like, why the hell?
Then she helps in the very, very final moment, but she has to give her strength over to Naruto to do it.
Because he's the main character. He's the main character.
It's called Naruto The Last, not Hinata The Last.
Yeah.
So that brings us to favorite line or moment in the movie.
I don't know. I never think this part through.
Oh, okay. I can go first.
Yeah, go first.
For me, it's hard because I know the moment's going to be between Naruto and Hinata at some point. I think the payoff can't be beat. That wedding, the credits are the best part of the film. Those credits are so powerful and good. And maybe for me, in terms of a line, it's the first time Naruto turns and says that he loves her. Believe it. I mean, that's really nice. And he really does. Once he has that realization, he commits. Like the way he is about, becoming Hokage and be doing anything in his life, he's 100% committed. He is committed.
He's all in.
I dig it.
And I have to agree. Like, that was also my favorite moment. Like, I sat there and just cried.
The credits?
Yeah.
It really, I feel like I should forget a different moment, but that, all the feels. Actually, whenever they were in the stupid memory bubble of the memory bubble of vehicle movie plot lines, and he remembers being alone, and like they're filling out a form. If the Earth were to end tomorrow, who would you want to be with? And he's like, I don't have anybody, and it's like so sad because you remember, because we've all been through so much Naruto at this point. He's this badass, we see him established in the movie at the beginning as kind of this popular guy now, but then you remember his roots as being like literally the whole village shunned him, and wouldn't tell him why for a very long time, and he just had no friends. And did he just live in did he just go from a baby and just did someone take care of him when he was a baby?
The third Hokage.
That's what it was.
Looked after him. So rating this movie 5 out of 5.
Oh, let's see. What do you want?
It can't be a 5 because of the crazy moon stuff.
It can't.
And that was like half the movie was moon stuff.
Yeah, I know what my rating is, but you go ahead. You go ahead.
Shit, dog.
Play the music.
It's satisfying, and I would watch it again. So it can be it can't be a 4.5. It's probably gonna have to be a high, like a 4 or a high 3.5.
That's actually where I'm at. I'm at a 3.75.
Yeah.
At a 3.75. The reason being is that it really pays off if you're a big fan in the end, but you do have to sit through a lot of crap, a lot of bad plot, a terrible bad guy. I mean, there's a lot of things that you don't want to see in this film that you're going to have to put up with, but the payoff is so worth it that I will give it a 3.75.
So I'm going to say a 5 because I am a Naruto fan through and through. 5 because I watched this movie like 3 times over the weekend, and it inspired me because I was feeling so incredibly high on this movie to go watch Boruto 2 hours after I finished it.
They want to know if we're going to do that, if we're going to do Boruto, if we're going to do Burrito.
We'll probably.
I think we plan to, but we want to wait until the movie actually is done playing in LA, just because we don't want to spoil it for anybody who is going to go watch it.
Yeah. Once you guys have enough time to see it, you can come talk with us about it.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's it for us this week.
So
next time?
Yes, next time we are going to be doing Studio Ghibli's The Wind Rises.
Yeah, Miyazaki's last film.
So probably someone's gonna die.
Yeah, most likely. Probably a lot of people.
So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and once again, you can find me online at Human Ninja everywhere.
You can find me online at KaibaCat.
And I am Chubby Bunny Michelle. You can find me at I am Chubby Bunny.
Thank you guys for tuning in to Otaku and Movie
You gotta do our
Anatomy.
things.
Oh yes.
Believe it.
No one say believe it ever again.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.